Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a really deep dive into an ancient and, honestly, highly effective natural remedy for chronic digestive issues. We're talking about the science of Ushapan. Now, if you've ever woken up feeling just sluggish, heavy, or struggling with your digestion, well, this is absolutely going to shift how you think about your morning routine.
Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty fundamental question. Think about it. We clean our houses with water every single day, right? We mop the floors, we wipe down the counters, we scrub the sinks. But what about the cleaning inside our body? We are so incredibly meticulous about our external environment, yet we kind of just completely neglect our own internal plumbing.
Just think about our everyday external habits for a second. We wouldn't even dream of going days without washing our floors, taking a shower, or brushing our teeth. We absolutely know that water is required for all of that. But internally, our body actually relies on that exact same purification process just to survive and function. We're talking about flushing the intestines, clearing out digestion, and removing toxins. True health really requires internal cleaning, and you guessed it, water is the primary vehicle to get that done. Now, this definitely isn't some new, trendy concept. In traditional Hindu rituals, practically no sacred act even begins with Achaman, which is a specific water purification process. In Hatha Yoga, practitioners actively use water to cleanse the stomach and the urinary tract. Ayurveda famously prescribes water as literally the ultimate medicine for indigestion. And even modern medicine echoes this, right? Look at the therapies pioneered by doctors like Louis Kuhn. Across all of these different disciplines, the consensus is exactly the same. Water is the ultimate internal purifier.
All right, let's move into part one, the modern digestive dilemma. So why exactly is this internal cleansing more crucial now than ever before?
Let's walk through the timeline of a nighttime habit that, let's be real, is incredibly common for most of us today. First, we eat a heavy or dry meal super late at night. Second, because we're all exhausted from our busy schedules, we usually go to sleep almost immediately afterward. Third, once we actually fall asleep, our bodily functions, and that includes digestion, naturally slow way down. And because that food just wasn't given the proper time to process while we were still awake, we hit step 4. That undigested food just sits right there in the stomach. It spoils, it turns toxic, and it generates this really unhealthy internal heat. So without even realizing it, you are essentially turning your stomach into a toxic environment overnight. Now here is where it gets really surprising. You might experience a bad taste in your mouth, dry lips, a heavy head, maybe a crusty nose, or just this completely unquenchable thirst first thing in the morning. A lot of people just brush these things off. They think, oh, it's just normal morning grogginess. But they aren't. Waking up like this literally means your dinner from last night hasn't been digested. That toxic heat from all that unprocessed food has traveled all the way up through your internal channels right to your head.
And this brings us right to the root cause of the whole problem. When food just stays unprocessed in the stomach like that, it's known as ajirna, or indigestion. When it actually manages to move but then gets stuck in the intestines, that causes malavarothe, which basically means blockage or constipation. And these conditions, they aren't just uncomfortable, they become a literal breeding ground for disease. When your system is blocked up like this, it harbors harmful bacteria and it actively prevents your body from forming fresh blood, strength, and vitality. It's a huge drain on your system.
So, how do we fix it? Let's get into part 2, the cure. It's time to demystify Ushapan.
So what exactly is this ancient practice? Well, Ushapan is the practice of drinking a glass of cold water roughly 30 minutes before sunrise. Or, practically speaking, for most of us, it means setting your alarm to wake up 30 minutes earlier than your usual time just to drink it. By introducing cold water at this very specific early dawn hour, you trigger a massive, really powerful internal cleanse.
Let's look at part 3, the mechanism, or basically how Ushapan actually works inside the body.
Think about what is literally happening internally. Step 1, that cold water enters the stomach. Step 2, it mixes directly with that dry, stuck, totally undigested food from the night before. Step 3, it liquefies that solid mass. And because liquids obviously flow much faster than solid matter, step 4 happens, the digestive channels naturally open right up. And finally, step 5, the body can easily flush that waste out. You are taking a stagnant block and turning it into a moving liquid.
Imagine it like this. Picture mud that is totally stuck and hardened inside a dry pipe. Obviously, it's not going anywhere on its own, right? It needs a sudden, heavy rush of water to instantly break it up and clear that pipe out. Well, your digestive tract operates the exact same way. When heavy, dry food gets stuck in there, it desperately needs that morning rush of water to push all that stagnant mud right out of your system.
Furthermore, Ushapan acts as this massive internal cooldown. Remember that toxic internal heat we were talking about earlier? The cold morning water completely neutralizes it. It is exactly like pouring water onto a scorching hot iron griddle. You know how the water just sizzles and instantly cools the pan down? The cold water does that exact same thing. It instantly pacifies the toxic heat that's been radiating through your body all night.
All right, let's talk about the actual impact. Section 4, real results. The power of Ushapan.
Consistently practicing Ushapan yields some highly specific, really incredible results. First off, it promotes a strong, immediate morning bowel movement, which fully clears out the system. Second, it triggers this intense hunger shortly after, which is actually a great sign. It means your digestive fire has been completely restored. Third, it completely eliminates that awful sluggishness and heaviness in your head. And finally, it provides this surge of renewed energy to tackle the day. You are effectively hitting the reset button on your entire body.
To really put a human face on this, I want to share a quote from a recovered patient. They noted, "For years, I woke up feeling heavy, burning and mildly feverish, needing baths or sherbet to cool down. Since practicing Ushapan, all complaints are gone. I now wake up feeling fresh and cool." I mean, wow, that is tangible proof that this simple, totally free, natural remedy has the power to resolve complex, chronic morning fatigue.
So, let's wrap this up. We clean the outside of our world so incredibly carefully, don't we? I think it's time we start offering that exact same respect to the inside of our bodies. Knowing what you know now about the toxic buildup of undigested food and the amazing clearing power of just simple water, are you ready to drink your first glass tomorrow morning? Think about it. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you on the next Explainer.